Let's not repeat the same mistakes today. What is up, team? What is up, people? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is up, moderators? Mark Roach. What is good, man? Good to see everybody here. Joe H. What is up? Throw some A's in the chat if you can hear your boy speak right now. Please go ahead and throw those A's in the chat right now just to make sure that we are, in fact, making some sound in the freaking in the chat, right, you guys? Are we making some sound, or are we making some sound? Because yesterday was a real unfortunate event for all of us, man. I really hated what happened yesterday, right? But nonetheless, we are here. We are making some nice moves, and we have appeared once again in the chat. Very, very exciting times over here, you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. But I do have to warn you, in the event, okay, just in case, in the event to where the microphone goes out, I already have the backup system in place, and it'll take me maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes to get it up and running, and I will come right back. So just in case, okay, you guys, so don't take this as me telling you that it's gonna go out, right? Just make sure to stay in line here with your boy Arca, and I will come right back into the chat, okay, you guys? But it's sounding good so far, okay? So just to give you guys a quick update, what is up, my Stick Vicious? Good to see you, my bro. Abner Cruz, we have to take a look at a couple things for you, right, my dude? I'm remembering right now. My apologies, but just to give you guys a quick heads up, I'm not exactly sure if the issues came from my new interface or if it was another reason, okay? But it was a very similar situation to what happened the last time, okay? But in this case, we actually just rebooted the system, and everything seems to be sounding very clear, okay? So I'm very excited to be streaming for you guys tonight. All right, you guys. Miss L, good to see you in the chat. What is good with you? Abner Cruz, I forgot what you asked me for yesterday, my dude, but can you go ahead and remind me, because I do have a reserved spot just for you, my friend. Please go ahead and let me know what tickers were the ones that you were looking at, and we will move along, dude. Thank you so much for everybody stopping by. Moderator Hound, what is up? Moderator Samantha H, Mark Roach, good to see everybody in here. Ian Tucker, what is up? Joe H, man, no way, dude. Thank you so much. You really don't have to do that, my bro. I'm very happy that we were able to make some serious gains on that TRKA run, right? So Mr. Levitt saying TRKA ran away from us. I was definitely in. But remember, guys, I actually tend to take my profits very early. I'm not a person who actually tends to look at gains to kind of hold for a while. Michael Payne, good to see you here. We will definitely check out CRTD. I'm sure that this is one of the tickers that's very popular right now as well. So definitely thank you so much for your donation to my brother. I will absolutely look at that ticker for you, man. In fact, we will be looking at it right after we do the NDX ticker, just like we always start off at the beginning of the day, right, you guys? We're gonna make sure to look at the broader markets. By the way, okay, it is incredibly important for us to take into heavy consideration what tomorrow is, okay, you guys? And the reason why I'm saying this, Mark Roach, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'll take a look at that one, man. So the reason why I'm saying this, you guys, is because tomorrow Fed Chair Jerome Powell will be giving his testimony tomorrow, okay, you guys? So that's we're going to be looking at a few things that are going to be suggesting some sideways trading, right? So it's always the case. It's either upside or sideways when we come up to the chairman himself, right? Jay Powell, the boy himself. JP is going to speak tomorrow, and he's going to tell us what his feelings are moving forward, right? So please go ahead and keep an eye on the broader markets, as that may actually show us some either weakness or strength. We just don't know what Jay Powell is going to say. So this is why I'm saying for you guys to make sure to keep an eye on your longs, make sure to keep an eye on your risk management, keep an eye on those stops, right? Respect it by all means, okay, you guys? So very, very excited to be streaming for you guys tonight. Everything seems to be working correctly. I just want to know, chat, please let me know in the chat right now if I am sounding loud enough for everybody, okay? Because this is absolutely something that I'm a little self-conscious about, and I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me speak, right? So I had to do a couple changes to the system itself, but it seems to be working pretty okay now, okay? So now Stick Vicious saying JP's opinion is going to say COSM is looking fabulous. Guys, COSM is absolutely ripping to the upside, which is another 10% trade that I actually did for myself today. Thank you, Miss L. Really appreciate that. So it was actually TRKA 10%, TRK and COSM 10%. In and out, you guys. I am not about holding bags. I am not about risking these things. So just go. And I heard some very good news, even from the moderators in the Discord, that they did take profits at some extraordinary levels. Paul, thank you so much for your donation, man. That really does mean a lot, my dude. Is there anything I can do for you as well? I'll try to add it to the schedule. You know, I do have a few people that I owe some tickers to from yesterday, but I can try my best for you, my dude. Thank you so much. That is very kind of you. Indra H, good to see you in the chat. What is up, Beso Amy? What is up? And Matt K, what's up, Andrew? So yeah, guys, I'm very excited to be awesome. Good vibes. Look at this, saying that I sound great. That's very good news. I know yesterday was a little bit of a, you know, the quality we had to kind of give in a little bit, but it's, you know, sometimes we can only do our best. Stick Vicious saying audio sounds better than ever. My dude, thank you so much. In fact, the videos that I just released about maybe an hour ago are used, you know, with the new system too, right? So we just want to make sure that we can stay on top of it. But the reason why I'm telling you guys that in the event to where this to where the audio goes out, I need to BSFC. Okay, hold on just a sec. I'll make sure to have that in here. BSFC. All right, cool. So I'm saying, guys, just in case, the reason why I'm telling you, just in case the audio goes out, I have the secondary system loaded just in case. It's only going to take me about 3 minutes to come back in. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that in the event where it does, I have it ready, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this, of course, is because right before I started right before the notification to tell people that I was going to come in early, or I'm sorry, that I'm going to go live, sorry. Right before I did that, the system actually did that same error again, okay? So I rebooted everything and everything seems to be working fine now. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, just in case it goes out, I will automatically, you know, reboot with a new system and then come right back in the chat. Okay, you guys, so you don't have to worry. I definitely will make sure to take into consideration what we need to look at. Okay, so I wanna kind of keep the chat as from my perspective, right? Abner Cruz, that's way kind of you, my dude. And I didn't. So you were talking about Ruby, right? I think it was PBTS. Did you text me? Did you already type in the chat? And I think TRKA, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. Guys, I'm not exactly sure what is happening with that ticker symbol RUBY, but we were looking at some possible upsides, right? And I think we actually came very short of the first target that we were looking at on that ticker symbol Ruby, right? So, man, very unfortunate times. Abner, thank you so much for your donation, man. That really does mean so much. Please remind Claire that I'm actually still waiting for her, and I do have her seat reserved for the Arc Masters trading course, okay? Even you, I just know that work is a little bit in the way. I get that. I get schedules can always vary, right? But I want to make sure that both of you are situated for that, okay? So go ahead and send me an email. I'll go ahead and type it here in the chat for you to consider sending me that, okay? Because it's looking like for now, for sure we have to do it maybe on Sunday 1 p.m. right? So Pacific time, and I know that kind of gets in the way of your schedule. So please have her or you send me an email so that we can at least situate one of you, right? So arcmasterscourse@gmail.com. I'm gonna post it right here for you, okay? Go ahead and refer to that, and definitely consider sending me an email whenever you can, my brother. Thank you so much. So yeah, so we're definitely going to be taking a look at both TRKA and ticker symbol RUBY. And I remember actually ticker symbol RUBY was something that MULN was longing. Wasn't he actually bullish that stock? There was a lot of people, right? I mean, I got a little confused with what we were talking about yesterday regarding TRKA, because I did mention that, guys, take a look at the amount of influencers that are bullish TRKA. This thing is bound to make a huge move to the upside, right? So if you're curious as to what it looks like in the Discord for the play that we actually put up, I'll go ahead and show you an image of that right now, okay, you guys? So I want to just show you what you could be looking at or you know, sharing, right? Within the Discord community. So let me just go to the Discord, and I'm gonna open up. Here you go, you guys. So, all right, so, guys, I'm sorry. I just have a lot of messages and a lot of hit-ups, right, that I still need to get back to. So please do not mind all this mess, as there's a lot of replies that I still need to go through, right? But it's all good. So right down here in strategy plays, right? So I'm sorry, we actually just changed the layout of this just a little bit. So strategy plays is usually where we go and post some plays up, right? So I posted today right over here, right? So go ahead and notice that I put up this play when we were trading at about 50 cents, right? So in this area, I gave a loading zone of which we barely made that YOLO entry, right? So this is what it looks like now. So from the YOLO entry, we actually made the moves all the way to the top side, very close to our swing 2 target. Okay, so in these types of plays, I put up what the percentage is from the first entry. Okay, so very excited for the people who did get to enter before this, and the entry number 1, 2, and even 3 back about a week ago when we were looking at this, or 2 weeks. So very cool stuff right here, okay, you guys, as we did get very close to that swing 2 target. And here's the first image again. Okay, so very exciting times, very exciting. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and just close out Discord and make sure that we can start moving along the analysis over here. Okay, you guys, so Abner Cruz, I am definitely gonna have to owe you one of those tickers, right? So you were looking at, I think it was Ruby, TRKA, and PBTS, if I'm not mistaken, right? So PBTS, let me owe that one for you, my dude, and I will get back to you. You know, you and I always talk on DMs and stuff, so I'll make sure to put it down so we can look at that for you. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you're not in trouble or anything like that. Guys, very excited to be streaming tonight. Please make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's stimulate that algorithm so we can get some more people in the chat and start moving along the analysis, right? Thank you, Abner. Thank you so much. And very excited to see all of the moderators in here today. Very cool stuff. So, Moderator Hound, what were you saying? You got shaken out of something? Let me go back up the chat. Okay, so you're saying I got shaken out at 71 right before it ripped to the 80, taking a 43% gain. Is nothing to be upset about those. Take a look at that, guys. Moderator Hound telling us that he made a 43% gain off of the play that we were looking at for ticker symbol TRKA. Very exciting stuff. So, guys, let's go ahead and just pull up our let's see, our NDX chart, just so we can start seeing what the markets could be saying, right? But please remember that anything can happen. Remember, guys, anything can happen when we're looking at you know, Jay Powell speaking for us, right? So I did load an iteration or an instance of a LHDXQ because I know a lot of people are actually, you know, they're inquiring about this. So I have some thoughts for you guys, okay, which is something that we did kind of notice that may or may not happen. A capitulation followed by a huge thrust to the upside, if you remember correctly. All right, so yeah, let me just go ahead and start off with the NDX right now, right? So let me just make a quick note for us right here so that when we come back to this, everything will be good. All right, so the NDX facing the resistance that we looked at yesterday. We very likely we were going to touch this zone right here, right, which is actually in respects to the gap that we're looking at on the daily time frame. We noticed that we may very well touch down there and reject. Okay, so the very dangerous thing that you're seeing here in the broader markets is this candle here. Okay, that is shooting star candle. It looks like an inverted hammer, but inverted hammers are identified when they're at the bottom of a downtrend, at the end of the downtrend. Okay, so in this case, since we're on an uptrend and we printed this hammer looking candle, this signals a shooting star, and it is a bearish candle, okay, especially since we are on the daily chart. This suggests a potential continuation to the way down, and if you can notice right down here, we do have that 20-day exponential moving average, very likely for us to come back down to those levels. This is going to apply a lot of pressure into the markets, okay? So what I'm saying here is essentially that some people may be pre-pricing in, or the markets are pre-pricing the bearish news that Jay Powell may actually give us tomorrow. Okay, not saying that he's going to give us bearish news. In fact, nobody knows what he's going to say except for the very, his close people, right? So so let's go ahead and just take a look at the fibs right over here. Okay, so you can see that the 1.618, of course, is landing in direct correlation with that right there with that EMA 50, right? So go ahead and notice this range right here. Okay, take note of that. 12,194.82 with a bottom side of about 12,170.18. Okay, so that's essentially what I'm looking at for the NDX. And let's just take a quick look at a few time frame RSIs, right? So lots of consolidation. If you didn't notice this, look at this 30-minute consolidation, bi-hourly just sideways consolidation, slightly bullish, right? 6-hour consolidation straight to the side, 12-hour consolidation. Guys, it's in respects to what's happening, so this is why I'm telling you that this is why we were going to see potentially lots of tickers suggesting some sideways trading, NDX being the first one, of course. All right, you guys, so that is going to do it for ticker symbol NDX. Okay, so let's see, tomorrow's stream, which would be Tuesday, we're going to be taking a look at the SPY. Okay, so it was a request from, I think, powerlifter Eric for us to alternate the SPY and the NDX. Okay, so we can, upon request, we can also look at the triple Qs. We can look at other things too. Okay, so just know that I'm not limited to one ticker. We can evaluate really anything, even crypto. So that's it. That's it for ticker symbol NDX. And I would just want to go ahead and continue on the analysis as fast as humanly possible. And why is that, you guys? The reason why I'm saying this is because I want to make sure that we can cover everything within the shorter amount of time that I'm promoting now for the live streams. Okay, so you're looking at a stream that's about 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so we're gonna try to do our own power hour ticker picker. Okay, so yeah, let me just go ahead and start bringing down the music just a little bit right now so that we can get a little more of a serious note in place. Right, so did Arca bring his damn water bottle? Yeah, I did. Let me take a quick sip of this hydro flask and we will continue right along with CRTD. If you guys remember correctly, CRTD was another ticker that we've been looking at for a potential play, right? So CRTD has a potential through volatility and momentum to continue onto that upside. But we're gonna look at all that stuff now, right? So let me just put this up right over here and make a quick little note that we're going to be starting ticker symbol CRTD, right? Very exciting times, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. Please make sure to hit that like button so we can stimulate that algorithm, right? Let's get it. Let's finesse it, right? So we can get some more people up in the chat and we can get some more awesome ticker suggestions, right? All right, so now let's go ahead and start off with ticker symbol CRTD. Bi-hourly time frame, it's showing a little bit of weakness regarding the volatility versus momentum. Okay, please remember the volatility represented by this indicator BBWP, it is direction neutral. Okay, so only because this is going to the downside doesn't mean price action will. Okay, we pair it with stochastic momentum or momentum in general. Okay, so this momentum, I tend to find some pretty good hit rate, alongside or pairing it or versing it with volatility. In this case, you can see that we're facing a little bit of weakness on the bi-hourly. Please remember, just remember, bi-hourly is a very short-term time frame, very likely to live out fast. Okay, you guys, so let's move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so now looking at the daily volatility versus momentum. Okay, so in this case, let's just go ahead and note what our 90 percentile, where it is. Okay, so we have touched critical volatility in not only the spectrum line, which represents the volatility component, but also the moving average is currently touching it right now. Okay, so that is a very, very good thing for us when we have a contraction phase starting from critical volatility and an upside pivot here on momentum. Very likely an upside move is to come. Okay, you guys, so this is very, very exciting. And I don't think I actually did Yeah, I actually don't think I did a back test of the daily, which is okay. We can actually run another back test. The last time we looked at this, we actually said A minus rating for CRTD. And I want to touch down in a couple time frames regarding that volatility. Okay, you guys. So please notice here that on the macro time frame, 5-day chart, we notice a broadening descending wedge, right? Large broadening descending wedge, and we are looking at several tests already, right? But the important thing about this right now is that we're at the resistance right where we were talking about, upside of that one spot 618 at 25.88, right? So now that has converted, that has officially converted into our support. Okay, it's very important because now we have the support from not only the one spot 618, but this newly converted resistance into support from the trend line of the broadening descending wedge. That is very good and a very bullish statement for CRTD. Okay, you guys. So that upside move we have been looking at, and we definitely caught it before it happened. Okay, so this is very good. All right, so now let's go ahead and just reference the hourly, because there could be a loading zone yet again. Okay, so if we can go ahead and focus in right in that SMA 50, right, the 50-day simple moving average located right at this level at about 22.98, just about 23 cents, okay, which is very confluent with this wick high. Okay, so very likely we can touch within this zone tomorrow. Okay, so you're looking at 24.85 to 22.96 before a rip to the upside. We are facing the hourly SMA as resistance right now. Very likely this can actually face a little bit of reaccumulation here. I'm talking about best case scenario, this area, but I'm going to give you one more area to keep into consideration in the event to where we do retrace. Okay, so that area would be located right about here. Okay, about 26.06. Now let's take an inverse fib, or actually an overall range fib, just so that we can see where we're currently sitting. Okay, so we'll take it from the overall high to just about, just before the run up, so right about here, which is this candle low. So right before we went, so we're going to take the overall range of this. Okay, so please notice that the not 618 at 25.88 is landing in one of those areas. Okay, so the next area that I'm suggesting has a lot of confluence with that not 382. And why is this important? Well, between the not 382 and the not 618 is the golden pocket. Okay, so this is a very bullish zone to be in. Okay, so even if we did retrace ourselves back down to that 23 level, then we absolutely have the golden pocket. We have this support from this candle. We have the 50-day simple moving average, lots and lots of support. Okay, you guys, so two loading zones for sure we're looking at. 25.88 is one of them. The second one being these two targets here. In case you want to screenshot your phone right now, you have the opportunity to do so. Okay, you guys, so this is definitely what I'm looking at for CRTD in the immediate short term. And some validations can be found with the immediate short-term 30-minute. As you can see here, we're actually suggesting a little bit of a downside with that 14-day simple as a resistance. Okay, very likely we're going to face a resistance here and continue onto the downside ever so slightly, but I'm talking about within those targets still. What validates that is the buy hourly. Okay, the buy hourly is, slightly bearish, slightly bullish, a little consolidation, but like I said, it's just very much in respects to what's happening tomorrow with Jay Powell doing his testimony. Okay, so we're going to meet this the 2-hour 14-day simple moving average, which would very likely in the, before the mid session, be located at about 48%, which is the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, which then would actually serve as two areas of support: 14-day simple, gravitational zone, the RSI signal bounce, and then upside continuation. All right, so we definitely still have to see what the Fed is going to say, because we still have 8-hour consolidation here. It looks like it's ever slightly bullish, but it is suggesting some consolidation on the 12-hour. We have the 3-day even in consolidation as well. So bi-daily consolidation and the daily in consolidation. Okay, so it's looking good. We are primed in a very important area. So if we do, what I'm saying is that if we do retrace to these targets that I mentioned, very likely can be taken as an opportunity. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, do your own due diligence. Everything will be just fine. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and end the ticker symbol CRTD, and we will move along with the analysis of this following the Fed testimony, right? So let's go ahead and make sure that we don't rate anything for this session. Okay, you guys, we want to make sure that we can keep retail as safe as possible because of what's happening in the broader markets. Okay, if we can't ever trade, we can't ever, I mean, I'm saying this from a personal perspective, but it's very dangerous for us to bet on the Fed. Don't fight the Fed. Okay, don't fight the Fed. We never know what they're gonna say. I mean, even the analysts feeling that there is like a way for us to historically back them, no, because first of all, they are not following statistics. They are following they're following ongoing data. So whatever comes back and CPI is coming up, I think, next week. So whatever comes back to them, they're essentially reactive to that data. They're not reactive to historical valuations, right? They're not reactive to that. They're only reactive to what's coming, which makes them harder to track. Okay, so this is why we are often wrong. We are often wrong in determining what they're going to say. Okay, you guys, do not do any Fed plays, because we are likely to face some losses in that. Okay, very huge gamble shot there. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the analysis here for ticker symbol CRTD, and let's start moving along to the next one. I feel like this is very healthy for us to do in this way, right? So I want to take a look at another ticker, and this is another one that I actually didn't get to catch up from yesterday, but let's look at ticker symbol MULN. Okay, so and I know that MULN actually, I think let me bring up something here, because I do believe that unrivaled trading, right? He is very knowledgeable with the MULN ticker. In fact, he's just a great trader overall. So yeah, let me just take a look at him real quick, because I think he actually just gave me some pretty interesting news. Unrivaled trading, which is here we go, you guys. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Okay, all right. So unrivaled trading. He said, and this is just in case you're curious, this is his picture right over here, right? So please notice that he said, MULN scored a government contract today. I just didn't have the time, or should I make the time to drop a video? Okay, so if whatever contract that is, we can see what, I mean, we can find out for ourselves, right? So please just consider that MULN may be making some type of weird upside move coming shortly. Okay, so if you are interested in following the man himself, let me just go ahead and take a copy of his handle here, because this guy is he's actually really good, you guys. So let me note that. Just a moment. Let me take it from his, there we go. Perfect. I'm gonna note it here on the chat so that you guys can actually give him a follow. He's a very knowledgeable trader. I've actually been talking to him before I actually started doing anything. I mean, I didn't even have one subscriber in YouTube when I first started talking to him, because I noticed that he was highly accurate, right? So this is his Twitter handle, and he has his YouTube links right in the description. Please go ahead and show the man some support, because he is definitely a discretionary trader that has some knowledge, that actually has a clue. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and now look at ticker symbol MULN on the chart, though. Let's see what that is. So I'm talking about maybe Thursday when I was going to stream, right? So when I did stream, I wrote this because there could be a potential floor here, and it looks like there was, right? Very sorry that I wasn't able to get to this. Lots of requests and all that stuff coming in. What I want to point out here within ticker symbol MULN is this other thing. Okay, let me actually just make a note here that I did start. Okay, perfect. Please take a look at volatility versus momentum on the daily. Notice how we're starting to get that uptick in momentum right over here, and we are starting to contract from critical volatility. Okay, we are, I mean, it's within the 80 percentile. I wish that it gone up all the way to the 90, but still getting this oval here is a very important aspect to making an upside move. Okay, so today, huge price action from MULN. In fact, let's just see what the close was to the current high. So from the closing of yesterday's daily candle to the very high today, 11% move to the upside, and currently sitting right now plus close to plus. Actually, sorry, that's going to be closing. Yeah, right there, almost 7% up, right? So finding that resistance on the daily from the SMA 10, and now we have created a bottom side support for us, okay? And what is that? Well, it's a tiny little gap that we can actually take into note here. Okay, the gap is actually, let me just get a little tighter with the targets here so that we can be a little more accurate, right? So please notice right here that these are that's the gap range, 2230 to about 2251. And very likely for us to use as a support on the top side of it, not the bottom. I'm not exactly sure that we can actually come back and cover this, as the sentiment seems to be increasing on MULN. First of all, go ahead and notice that the daily RSI is starting to make it's about to make a very important cross here from the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile. Okay, so notice here that we've been under this 14-day simple since about February 8th, 23, and it looks like we're about to make that cross now. Very interesting times coming in for ticker symbol MULN. Let's go ahead and refer to volatility versus momentum on the buy daily. Let's see what it's got. Okay, wow. Nice. Okay, so this is also within the 80 percentile, and this is all the way oversold, right? We're definitely, I mean, historically speaking, let's just take a look at how low we are, because there could be just lower iterations. Yeah, so we're currently sitting at about 4.51%. And you can see here, very few iterations where we've gone lower. In fact, lots of iterations where we've reversed from the current location. Okay, so this is definitely a very, very bullish statement coming out of MULN. I understand that they do have some type of pause on their RS, right? Or we don't know what's going to happen until September. I think they gave a huge I think it was what was it? They gave them they allowed them to kind of postpone it, right? So this is good. Let's see. So yeah, anyway, continuing on the analysis here, very interesting setup happening on the buy daily as well. Actually, if we look at shorter term time frames, we're very likely to see possible complete expansion at the top area here. Let's go to the 12-hour and see what we got. Oh, actually the quite opposite. Nice. All right, so this is the setup right here, guys. This is definitely very good. Okay, so we have contracted to critical volatility here within the 15 percentile and in the 12-hour, which is very credible. Another thing to notice right here is that we have an upside pivot that essentially has already half fired this signal. Why am I saying half fired? Well, please notice that we do need both of the volatility component and the moving average. Both of these, we need them pivoted upside and beyond the 15, at least the 10 percentile, okay? As soon as we get both of these pivoted to the upside, alongside a continuation to the upside, very likely here in the bullish control zone with an upside pivot, lots of movement here will be coming in for ticker symbol MULN. Okay, so this is looking highly ready. Okay, so let's see. Critical volatility on the 8-hour with an upside pivot. Let's go to the 6-hour. Critical volatility with an upside pivot on the 6-hour. Many time frames here, you guys. Wow. Okay, so corrective right here, but still an upside pivot and starting the expansion phase from volatility. Guys, many time frames here. So 4, 6, 8, 12 are 4 time frames that are suggesting an upside move coming in. Okay, so let's now just see what could be a potential loading zone for ticker symbol MULN as it is presenting a type of statistical upside, or more in the physics side, right? So let's just go ahead and touch bases on that using the RSI. Okay, let's start off with a 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, and let's see what we got. Okay, so downside pivot on that 30-minute immediate short-term, validating what we're talking about here. We definitely have the SMA 10 and the SMA 200 as a resistance above us, so very likely we can actually face this. Okay, so I actually can pull up one more indicator, and actually this would be the ARC from the Cryptex indicators. I'll pull up ARC Sniper, right? So let me just go ahead and load that, and The reason why I want to load it is because it has a very accurate, it does have a very accurate VWAP, which is actually the volume weighted average price. So I'm going to remove everything for now, just so we can see what the volume weighted average price is telling us, right, you guys? So let's go ahead and notice that now. So VWAP represented by this yellow moving average right over here. Okay, so let's get rid of the SMAs and just focus on volume weighted average price. Please notice that it is above us and is being used currently as a resistance. As you can see here, lots of relevance within the VWAP indicator. Okay, so the 1 hour is also using that as a resistance as well. So this is a validator for us to face a downside continuation, likely in the immediate short term. Let's move on and see what that bi-hourly has. Still above us. Yeah, so everything is above us. Man, shooting stars here, suggesting a downside on the 4 hour. You know I don't like to look at it in these time frames, but it's still there for us to evaluate, right? So we still have a little bit of consolidation here, but the bi-hourly is suggesting that downside for sure. Okay, so we do have that 14-day simple located right at the junction between the bear weakness and the bull weakness. So very likely we can see a touch right here before a continuation onto the upside, which is very confluent with the targets that we're looking at. Okay, you guys, so the targets, remember, if you let's see, I gave you two, didn't I? Let's see. So I actually, no, I mean that could definitely be it right here. 2280, and the bottom side targets, the loading zone 2251 to about 2230. Very likely we can actually face that type of loading zone there, these targets, right? So now let me load the SMAs actually just to see if we have anything. Yeah, so confluence here with the SMA 50. Please notice that this is the bi-hourly SMA 10. It doesn't always succeed, right? So we can actually fail that and then continue on to the upside. So guys, remember that MULN is also a little bit, sometimes it is a sympathy run to the broader markets, okay? So it's very sad that we are not going to be able to rate this, okay? But it's showing an immense amount of opportunity right here, okay? So let's just notice the 6 hour RSI. Okay, so consolidation on that. We're just getting consolidation, guys. Man, a little bit of bearish, but mostly consolidation on that 8 hour. Let's see the 12 hour. The 12-hour consolidation as well. It's just in respects to the Fed testimony tomorrow. Okay, you guys. So that's why I'm telling you it's going to be a little difficult for us to determine what that price action can do. Okay, but if we're looking at, I'm literally telling you that if we're looking at physics here, momentum and volatility, this is, you know, it's suggesting upside soon. And it looks pretty primed, right? So this is definitely good news, okay, you guys? So if we're looking at upside targets, I can't tell you exactly where we're going to go, but I can tell you right now that we do have a strong resistance zone. Okay, so let me block out the VWAP from Sniper and also the SMAs. And I'll give you just this range for a short-term target for us to look at. Very likely we can face a resistance before a reaccumulation between a space of about 2540 to about 2608. Okay, so looking at the daily candle that we're printing right now, let's take a fib from the swing high to the swing low and see what we got. Okay, please notice that the 2-spot 618 is landing right at the top side of our target, and the 2-spot 272 as well. High relevance right over here. Okay, you guys, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I mean, even if we, I don't know. Let me just load it just in case. I'll load up the EMA 7 and 30, and just in case, I'll also load the 20-day and okay, the 20-day. Very curious, landing at the 27.25. If we do get some good news, highly likely we can touch the space between about 26 to about 27 to about 27.25. Very short area, right? But still massive upside to go. If we were able to load, right? If we were able to load from the top side of this target here, the upside move to the bottom side of the take profit we're looking at is already close to 13%. If we move a little bit upside to just past that 2-spot 618, you're looking at almost 16% gainer here. Very, very cool play to take into consideration, but I want to make sure that everybody stays safe when betting on the freaking Jay Powell. Okay, we need to be careful with that stuff, guys, because he can literally give us some bad news and this thing will just capitulate to the ground and then we're all bag holding. But please make sure to respect risk management and your stops. by any means necessary. Okay, guys, take the smaller loss. It's okay to take a controlled amount of small losses before a continuation. Okay, so let me go ahead and just finish off the analysis here for ticker symbol MULN and refer to the chat just real quick. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Please, please, please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Eric Powerlifter, what's up, man? Thank you so much for your donation, dude. That really means a lot, dude. So now with that donation, you're saying hello, sir, Arca and the Arca crew. Hope everyone is well and doing green on something. The question is, Boyle taking me to a ride to hell? What? It's stopped. And Mondo Lopez, thank you so much. Mi amigo, muchísimas gracias, ya sabe. Okay, so brother, what that's very nice of you, Mondo Lopez. That's an incredible donation. Thank you, my friend. So please let me know. I thought Boyle was actually making that huge upside. We were talking about an upside on Boyle, and we noticed it was an A, I think it was a B+ or an A- trade, wasn't it? It was a huge opportunity for us. So I'm not sure if we actually, I haven't looked at it since I said that, right? So you're catching me by surprise right now. So we were looking at the bottom, man, even I can see all the price action already kind of beyond that. Okay, so wow, guys, this is, yeah, I mean, this is yes, it can be bearish. I get it, right? So very close to the targets we were looking for already. I can't make this an official one because I still owe a lot of tickers right here, my brother, but it did come back to our loading zone, didn't it? So let me just look at it on the daily and see what it's got. So very interesting gap down here on the daily, right? So, but it came to our loading zone. I think that, wasn't this what we were waiting for? No? Or it just continued onto the upside like forever? Let me see what RSI is doing for us. Man, of course. Why are we getting all this consolidation everywhere? Upside on the 15-minute and the 30-minute. That's nice. Consolidation bi-hourly. 6 hour still consolidating. 12 hours still consolidating. Daily is showing a little bit of weakness here with a very limited downside, though. So this is likely for us to find another loading zone in respects to this. But let me just take a look at the 12-hour, right? Yeah, very likely this thing is going to come back to touch down at that 558 to about 568 before a potential continuation to the way up. And this is, I'm saying this because the buy daily and the daily are literally right at support. They're really close to that support. And also because the 3-day volatility versus momentum, this is a signal fired. This is an official signal, and this is suggesting just massive upside. So very likely this can actually face a reloading zone. Okay, so I hope that I was able to answer at least some of that question. Thank you so much for your dono, my dude. But I want to move on to the next ticker, guys, and a very popular one at that, right? So, but yes, once again, Mondo Lopez, thank you so much for that donation, my friend. That was very kind of you. So Powerlifter, you're saying great. Thanks so much for the quickie. That's what I'm seeing, but wanted to ask, my dude, you know your charts very well. Very happy that you can actually find someone else to kind of validate your thesis, right? Very important, guys. What Eric Powerlifter just did right now is a validation of his own feelings. Okay, so with someone who is not biased towards the stock itself. As I'm not long this, I just gave the opportunity days ago. Okay, so it's important for you guys to find someone, you know, to that knows charts just like you, or that is around your same level, and then you guys evaluate, and then kind of get someone else in there who's just more knowledgeable, right? And validate your feelings. So that's very good. Thank you so much, Eric, for that. And yeah, so let me take a quick sip out of this Hydro Flask again, because I am thirsty. All right. So let's go ahead and continue on to this very popular ticker. A lot of people talking about, right? LHDXQ, which is the LHDX ticker that actually got suspended from trading on the NASDAQ listing. So now it is absolutely listed as a pink sheet or an OTC stock, aka over the counter. Okay, you guys. So that doesn't make this a less bullish or more bearish stock. In fact, we were talking about the potential of facing a quick capitulation on the opening of the OTC, of the reintroduction of the asset as a pink sheet, right? We were talking about a huge capitulation first, followed by a massive upside pump, of which you can see definitely happened, right? So I'm not trying to tell you that it's me just calling it, right? It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, based on psychology, there are those potentials when we were already facing a very bullish setup before we actually closed or suspended trading on that Monday, right? So what day is it today? It's Monday, or when was it suspended? Was it Friday, guys? Chat, let me know. When was LHDX suspended officially? Was it Thursday actually? And then it started continuing the trading today, or how did that work? Please let me know if you are knowledgeable in the happenings for LHDXQ. Dive in, chat, let me know. But for now, let's take a look at the price action right away. Right away, I already see something. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on the chat as well. Okay, you guys, just in case somebody does know some information as to when it stopped versus when it continued, right? So go ahead and notice that we have printed today a very, very good candle structure. This is a bullish engulfing, and it's on the daily. Okay, so what is a bullish engulfing candle formation? Paul saying that today was the first day on the... Okay, got it. Very cool. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I do believe that Boyle will be good again, and I actually do see that coming in a couple days, a few days, you know, a week at tops. It's just we need to get over the macroeconomic data that's going to be coming out, and also the speakers and stuff. So all of that stuff is kind of putting the markets at hold, which is essentially why I'm telling you that could be kind of a gamble to bet alongside the Fed or Jay Powell speaking, giving his testimony. Okay, so please, yeah. So what happens here on a bullish engulfing is when the larger green body of the candle forward actually engulfs the smaller red candle body. Okay, so this is definitely a bullish engulfing. The last bullish engulfing iteration was actually right over here, and as you can see, the price action led to an upside move even still. Okay, so it looks like this ticker is respecting some of that candle formation, but it's normal for it to face this type of for it to respect it on a higher term time frame. Another one right over here, please take a look at that. This is bearish engulfing right over here. So in this case, the red candle is engulfing the green, downside continuation. Okay, so in this case, we do have the inverse of that, which is the bullish side of it. So this is essentially suggesting a continuation onto the upside, and now we can actually take into account psychological area of support, and that is it's the space between this candle here, the wick high of this candle, which is, you can actually see the valuations right up here, right? So on the H. So go ahead and notice that the high of this candle, which is the wick or the shadow, right? 1810. So from that 1810 target, we can take a range, right? So of that gap. So this is essentially that gap that we're looking at. So very, very likely we can use this as a form of support. And I don't see this actually closing either. So lots of people are going to be trading this in different ways because they're going to be thinking that, no, it's this gap here. No, it's this gap here. Guys, no, it's definitely this one here. Okay, so lots of people could be looking at this in several ways. I'm not saying that we're going back down. In fact, I'm just giving you the areas of support or relevant support before we can continue with the analysis. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the immediate short-term time frame RSI. Okay, as I'm very curious to see what's happening in this. Okay, so actually let me just load the SMAs as well before we continue on the analysis. Okay, let's see. So yeah, we have high confluence actually with that 50-day simple moving average right at that 33.95. But please notice here that we are in the process of converting both of the SMA 100. Very hard to see. Sorry, hold on. Very hard to see. So let me just make it a brighter blue for us to just kind of understand exactly where it is, right? So please notice that the moving average is just below us right there, right? So it's now showing us support from the SMA 100 and the SMA 10. So let's see. So I'm not, some places actually, I'm a little confused over this because TradeStation has actually shown me a very weird thing, has shown me OTC tickers trading after hours. So I'm not really sure how that's working. But as I was under the impression that OTCs do not trade the after hours, right? But unless it just closes after hours, the traditional market close of OTC, right? So I've only been introduced into OTC tickers just about a month ago or 2 months ago. So I'm very much new at OTC tickers. But from there is just charting. I'm definitely not new at, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at momentum here via the RSI on the 30-minute immediate short term. Okay, so it looks like we do have a little bit of consolidation, but we're using that 14-day simple as a guide to the way up. So that's good. That's very good, actually. So I definitely like it. So bi-hourly time frame suggesting consolidation for sure. And please notice every time frame on these moving averages just straight ahead. And so, I mean, again, very likely to what could be happening, right? So bullish engulfing here on the 6-hour time frame, upside continuation, but very much consolidation on the RSI, okay? Consolidation as well here on a 12-hour time frame. In fact, we actually made the bearish cross today below that 14-day simple, but still we're suggesting consolidation. We faced a bounce from a very critical area. Again, it's the daily gap, right? So we faced that bounce. If people were trading the gap, they bounced from the gap. If people were trading the 12-hour, they bounced from the 50-day simple moving average, or let's see. Yeah, the 50-day simple. Okay, so very good stuff. Very good stuff here. I'm so sorry. What the heck am I saying? This is the 50 and this is the damn 100 down here. What's happening, guys? Who hired Arca? God. All right, let's continue on. A little bit of that resistance from the SMA 200 here. So it's still looking good. It's just we still have a lot of consolidation to consider, right? So even the daily is still pivoted towards the upside, but it's not quite a pivot like we were looking that we want, right? So still a little bit of consolidation. Let's look at the buy daily. Buy daily, same situation as that daily. Let's see the 3-day consolidation. This just tells me that we have a lot to kind of take into consideration, guys. We really have to overcome whatever Jay Powell is going to say tomorrow, and then the markets will start kind of pouring the money back into their tickers, right? So it's very important for us to look at that, okay? So the setup is still the same. The setup is absolutely still the same, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because let me just block out this thing here and just show you that we're still essentially right. Let me see if it's actually, no, it definitely is right here. Wow. Okay, so we're at resistance right now, guys. We're at resistance from a broadening descending wedge, and very likely to find. Let's see. This is it right here. So contact point right down here, contact point here, contact points here, and the initial one, right? So you're looking at test number 1, 2, 3, and we have fake out test number 4 and test number 5 rejection. Okay, so test number 5 is the true one here. We're in the validation of completing this because this could possibly be on the 5-day. There you go. So the 5-day is actually, in fact, where this broadening descending wedge is trading, and it is suggesting a potential support being found, okay? Regardless of the fact that the 5-day RSI is still suggesting downside, the thing here is that volatility versus momentum on the 5-day, just like we noticed when we were looking at LHDX, when we said this was an A- play, it's still within critical volatility and suggesting an upside here. Okay, so let's go back to the 3-day and notice critical volatility, upside. Okay, now let's go to the buy daily. Critical volatility, upside. So this is why we were noticing that this could be a very strong play. Daily time frame suggesting a corrective move, but please rest assured that this is just the natural ebb and flow of the market cycles, okay? Because what I can see here building is potentially trend line regression. Okay, so it very likely finds support just like this and then continues onwards and upwards. Critical volatility there as well. Let's look at the 12-hour, already starting to correct while in critical volatility. This is still suggesting a potential massive upside. Critical volatility starting to correct and starting to pivot. Very likely for us to find some type of downside soon or some floor soon before a continuation on, you guys. So the play is still the way we were looking at it before. Okay, so this is something's happening, and I would like to evaluate this when we are outside of the Fed speakers and all of the macroeconomic data. My apologies. All right, so yeah, that's I can't actually give any targets right now because literally everything is consolidating, right? But volatility and momentum, they're definitely there, and they're suggesting a massive upside. Okay, so we'll evaluate this again because this could be a potential opportunity for us to get long this stock, right? So very, very good stuff. Thank you so much for whoever asked me to take a look at LHDXQ. As I believe it was actually at the beginning of the chat, or I think it was actually in the early ticker picks, right? Very good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for this. So Stick Vicious, thank you so much for your donation, my dude. I really, really appreciate that. Saying no matter what JP says, we all know that ticker Arca is always in the green. My bro, cheers to you. Thank you so much. Powerlifter, what are you saying, man? This month is loaded with massive economic catalyst. I absolutely agree. We have to keep an eye, guys, because next week is going to be CPI, and you know that CPI is definitely one of the major factors that can play into moving the broader markets overall. Okay, so aside from that, the other one to look at is actually going to be the the producer price index, right? So that's going to be the PPI data as well. So that's another one to look out for. But the one that's incoming right now, of course, is JPAL tomorrow, and then followed by CPI the next day. I think there's another one in this week as well. But we'll keep an eye on that, guys. So if we were able, I think actually we did make a play out of this for LHDX before it was the Q, right? Before it was the OTC. And I think it's still the same drawing. Whatever I drew could be consistent to what we looked at before. So if that's the case, go ahead and refer to that drawing in the strategy plays in Discord. Just move up to where I posted LHDX, right? And then you'll probably see that it's a similar drawing. As this is bringing a lot of it's bringing a lot of I don't know, it feels like deja vu to me, right? So yeah, it's because I had to start it as a whole new ticker. If I search LHDX right now, the trading view will tell me incorrect ticker. It wouldn't even pull up anything that I did. So oh man. All right, so guys, very, very exciting times here for LHDXQ, as a potential upside can be in line alongside ticker symbol MULN. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put some potential upsides on those two tickers so we can keep an eye on them, right? So let me do potential upside note here. I'm just writing the notes here on my laptop. So let's move on to the next ticker, guys, and that's gonna be ticker symbol TRKA. All right, very, very popular ticker. Lots of people making some money on this play, right? This is actually the live play that we put up, right? Really sorry that this is actually drawn on, but it's very important for us to take into consideration what we were looking at as far as the entries and the exits, right? So what could be in line for TRKA? But let me, instead of using that chart, let's just go ahead and load up a new iteration so that we can see what's really going down. Okay, so Mr. Levitt saying LHDX has already met your downside targets on the dot. Thank you so much, my dude. I actually really, really wanted to express a very tight opening potential opening position, right? So really happy that it did work out. So thank you so much for that recognition, my dude. Appreciate you. But it doesn't matter, guys. It's just mathematical stuff, and it's the if it wasn't for the mathematician Fibonacci himself, or I just dropped his name, the guy who actually invented statistics, right, based on population. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. As I have every reason to give them every last bit of credit here, right? You guys, the math says it for us. Arca doesn't say it for us. I'm merely the what you can call it, the newspaper boy. I'm merely the newspaper boy. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and now continue on with TRKA. Let me go back to the original drawing just so I can get a quick little hint over what we're looking at, right? So I see that. Okay, so we were playing it lots of areas here. Very important new support line, and that support line is located at the short-term target here at about 63.91. Huge support there. Very, very good support. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I wanted to see what volatility versus momentum are doing, and how far up are we, or how cooked we are before facing a retracement. So very likely we'll see that here. Okay, so let's just let's just take a look at these things. Okay, we just have to practice a little bit of patience here. Very interesting corrective move here. So that's actually making me curious on the 8-hour time frame. Historically, how high have we gone? Let's see. So historically speaking, we've actually gone up this iteration here in December 2021. Of course, right before right at that capitulation or the start of the bear market cycle, right? 94 spot, 85% is that top side where we retraced. Okay, so what does that mean? It just means that we still have upside to go. If this is really correcting to the upside, it doesn't mean that we're going to top out there, by the way. I'm just saying that historically speaking, the massive all-time high of stochastic momentum percentile is very likely an area for us to look at a retracement. So not every time we're going to get that perfectly. As you can see, we've attempted it several times, right? But it's just to show you that we still have an upside potential here. And if we start to look at other time frames, very likely we can start seeing that we're still in the same situation. So, okay, corrective upside continuation here, critical volatility in the 12-hour as well. Historically speaking, may be very similar. Yeah, very similar. Okay, so let's go up to the daily and take a look at, okay, so the daily is still suggesting an upside, a little bit of weakness here. And RSI still pivoted straight to Pluto. Okay, but I mean, a little bit of weakness on the stochastic momentum, but we're absolutely barring out now. Critical volatility maxed out. Let's go to the buy daily and see what we got. Okay, buy daily still pivoted towards the upside. Historically speaking, we are very close to that upside of about 90 spot 92%, still suggesting an upside though. And please notice that the RSI is absolutely cooked right now. Okay, so 85 spot 59% with no historical backing to tell us when we can stop. Okay, so that's what I mean. It's just it's getting dangerous at this zone. We are probably if like, I mean, remember, this can just overbuy forever. It can just go and go and go, right? But if we have people using the RSI and using stochastic momentum and volatility as a point of reference, then we have to start considering probably geometrical targets or overextended zones, historically speaking. So if that's the case, then yeah, I can still see a little bit of an upside continuation here, but we may face a retracement soon, okay? But if psychology doesn't want that, then this would still rocket ship. Let's look at the 3-day. 3-day maxing out for 2 consecutive bars now. Massive upside continuation on that, and we're still within the bullish control zone. Okay, so huge upside here on the RSI. Definitely overbought in 81 spot 2%. Okay, historically speaking, on the 3-day momentum, 88 spot 97. We're currently sitting at about 78. So definitely a substantial amount of upside to go here. 5-day, very likely the same situation. Huge upside pivot. Now the second bar printing here. These bars represent a 5-day read. Every time we close a 5-day iteration candle, 1 bar prints as long as we are maxed out in volatility. The inverse of this would be right down here in critical contraction, which would be a blue bar. Okay, so it looks like TRKA has never seen contraction on the 5-day, has only been fully expanded. And in this case, huge upside still being suggested. We're well within the bullish control zone, and with an upside pivot on both the 14-day simple moving average and the 3-day exponential moving average, aka K% and D%. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the weekly. Weekly still with massive upside, guys. This is, if we're going to face a pull, and look at the RSI just barely touching the junction between the overbought percentile and the bull strength percentile in the RSI, very likely this can continue on to the upside. But if we're looking at the shorter term time frames, let's just see this, okay? Because look at the 6-hour, still pivoted to the upside and critical volatility. Man, this is such an amazing play. Look at this. Still upside pivot and 4-hour critical volatility. Every single time frame just maxed out and suggesting upside, right? So all right, so here it is. Here's the pullback finally, right? So let's look at the 30-minute and the hourly for that opportunity. Okay, so please remember that volatility, yes, contracting from critical volatility here. suggesting downside very likely to live out extremely fast. Okay, so lots of people getting nervous around the opportunities here. I'm noticing here a trend line regression, possible rejection right in this area here, potentially going to find a little bit of a corrective move to the upside very soon, as we can see that the 3-day exponential and the 4-day simple are starting to curve, right? So what I am noticing here on the 30-minute RSI is that we do have some resistance from the 14-day simple moving average, very likely for us to use as resistance and retrace for a potential opportunity to get long this stock, okay? But let's see the 15-minute. The 15-minute is already suggesting upside, which means it's going to lay within the, it's going to lay within the hourly chart and the 30-minute. Okay, so perfect. So let's now refer to the 12-hour chart and see what we have, okay? Because everything is just so damn just moonshotting here. It's still suggesting an upside, okay? So I want to just go ahead and note that we do on the, let me see the 8-hour actually to see if we have something a little closer. And yes, we definitely do. My goodness. Okay, so this is extremely, extremely tight. And I want to just point it out here because it's very likely to be used as a lot of people, I'm talking experienced traders, they will use things like these to gain an edge over those who don't know, right? So this tiny little gap here between September 6th, 2022 and September 7th, 2022, this here, amongst another few of them, right? Very likely we can see a support touch there, but I'm talking about best case scenario likely, right? So the next target would be this gap right here, which would then bring a higher relevance to our support. Okay, so let me just take a box just like this. Okay, it's the nuances, guys. It's the details in the work that actually pay off or pay out, right? So let's go ahead and now pair this with some, let's see, some moving averages, right? As this is presenting an extremely powerful opportunity yet again. Okay, so yet again for me, because guys, I'm not holding this overnight. I am not. I am just going to momentum trade this, get my profits in and out. I don't care. 15, 10%, let's go. Right? So every day, that's going to be 15%, 50% up, 80% up potentially. That's great. That's great news. Okay, and even notice, Moderator Hound made a 43% gain in one day. So, man, I haven't even seen Sebastian Lim over here because Sebastian Lim is probably 180% up. That guy just FOMOs into anything. I am going to kick you. All right, so let's go ahead and now open up the EMA 7 and 30 to see if we have anything closer. Man, everything in the 8-hour moving averages is just starting the curve towards that upside, right? So now this is a very important thing for us to take into consideration. Okay, so let's now block the visibility from the SMAs and the EMA and load up our 20-day exponential moving average versus our 50-day exponential. Why? Because there could potentially be the continuation of a huge silver cross. Okay, and as you can see, definitely got it. Okay, so we have that silver cross confirmation right down here, and that cross is absolutely historically known for a very bullish continuation to that upside. Okay, so right now we have the 20-day exponential above the 50-day exponential and still suggesting that massive continuation to the way up, right? So very, very likely this can face some support. And I'm talking, let's just get closer here because we may be able to see where that support touch is, right? So it looks like the hourly is telling us that we're closed at 76.78, but please remember that these vary, right? They vary within, I'm talking about the closing valuation of TradingView versus like Moomoo and Webull and whatever else. They're gonna all be different, right? Because brokers have their markups, they have their commissions. And yeah, so everything's gonna vary all the time. Okay, so what I do have to notice here is that there is a birth of a candle right over here that actually didn't get any volume whatsoever. In fact, it got 500. You can see the volume right over here, and when we hover over the candle, you'll see it got 500. Okay, 192 on that previous. So these are the aftermarket hours, right? So please, yeah, just notice that. You know, we have 405,000 here. We have 419,000. That's the typical volume there. That's good. And even the first candle here, 733. So lots of volume pouring into this, lots of inflow, okay? So what you're looking at here is that in the 30-minute time frame, passing the 50 percentile of hold on just a sec, passing the 50 percentile of volatility usually represents the disbursement of returns. Okay, so in this case, we can definitely see a continuation to the downside ever so slightly. Okay, so I'm talking about the relevance of the 20-day exponential moving average right at our discretionary gap of 70.89. Okay, top side of about, I'd say about 72.87. Let's load up our EMAs. This would be very likely another target to look out for, 74.86 at the EMA 7. And let's just see where we have it on the hourly. Okay, there we go. So the hourly suggesting confluence with that 72.87 target. Okay, so very likely we can face a bounce from this area within this. Okay, so Samantha H up 166%. What? Oh my goodness, that is just, yeah, that's good stuff. Basil Amy, what are you going to call that? What are you going to call that 166% up? Okay, you're very clever with naming things. So, oh my goodness, that is incredible stuff. Man, right? Samantha H, congratulations for the win, for the upside thus far, right? So you can just see the power of trading, right? When done correctly. All right, so guys, loading zone right here, the upside targets we can evaluate, right? We can definitely look at. Let's see the 12-hour. Let's just look at the 12-hour for an upside continuation here. We'll take, yeah, you know what? We'll take a fib retracement from the current. Let me just make a little bit of room here and make sure that we have that, right? Guys, awesome opportunity here, okay? But please remember, Jay Powell, right, just in case. So from the swing high to the swing low of the last 12-hour iteration, and let's see, paired with price action. Let me get rid of the moving averages here because they're highly irrelevant in the upper term time frames, right? So let's start looking here. I can already see, man, that is a tiny little gap right there. Okay, so I have two gaps for you located with high confluence with the 2-spot 272 and the 2-spot 618. Okay, so let's draw the first one. So tiny. Okay, it's right here, these two candles. Okay, so let me just do this and show you just like that. High confluence with the 2-spot 272, and now this gap right over here, I mean, it's within the 2-spot 618. Okay, so lots of resistance in this area. Okay, not even to mention these things here. There's a lot of, remember this, as we get into smaller time frames, you're going to see more gaps, right? Especially when we're, look at this. This is ridiculous. Just people just losing their houses, winning new houses, losing a Lambo, getting a Rolls Royce. Like, what's happening here? This is ridiculous. Okay, so let's draw that next gap, okay, which is the one that would be yeah, higher relevance for now, right? So Baso Amy, you just said stock envy. I didn't actually think you were gonna reply to that. It was like in a classroom. Are you asleep? Oh my goodness. But check this out. Here we go. All right, so yeah, very likely we can actually see a resistance touch here, but definitely know that we were looking at a topside target per our swing play. Swing number 2. Remember, that target that we're looking for is 83.84. Okay, so 83.84 is, I mean, look at this. It's still relevant. Okay, this is 83.78, and let's see, 83.84 was the target that I gave you, right? So look at this. I'm still suggesting the same target with a whole other chart in a different time frame. Okay, so you're gonna FOMO in, Basil Amy? No, don't do that, or else I'm gonna get a girl to kick you. Okay, but this is just wait for the pullback. Okay, because there is some high relevance down here. So yes, without FOMO, I can definitely see a retracement facing, you know, the best case scenario right here, 86.95. We definitely come back and test the 2-spot 272 as a form of support before a continuation onto the upside, eventually touching about 91 cents at that 3-spot 618. So okay, from this range here, right? So the top side of this could be very likely a YOLO entry, right? So let's look at the first target of resistance. So take a look at this. This is what I look at, guys. This is why I pointed out. This is a 12% gain from this area. You know, Arca's going to be in, out, let's go. So, and then I'm going to be in, out, let's go. In, out, in, out. It's just going to be over and over and over and over, day in and day out. Guys, come on. This is when you're when you're facing opportunities like this, there's no way like I can ignore that, right? So go ahead and notice here that this is a 16% gain to the top side target that we're looking at, right? So very, very cool stuff. If you're curious as to what this top side target is from the max entry, so this is the second probability here. That's about almost 20%. The third probability would be almost 23%, and the less likely targets, which are also, just know when we're facing this kind of squeeze here or whatever is happening, very likely we can see candles just, you know, very much huge volatility, right? So from the lesser probability targets all the way at the bottom, you're looking at about a 26.75% gainer, right? So that's this is huge opportunity, right, guys? So very good stuff, very good stuff. Just know that we should keep in mind what Jay Powell is going to say again. Okay, so let's end off the opportunity here looked at for TRKA, as this is suggesting just Planet X, right? Let's go. We're going. We're just going to cryo ourselves. We're going to get long here, and we're going to cryogenically freeze ourselves, and we're just going to, you know, 300 years from now, we're going to be 800% up or 8,000% up, sorry. So let's go. Moonshot on TRKA. Very much a fan of this. Good stuff, guys. And I know Mark Roach is probably still long this, still way up. Congratulations to those taking profits, guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and now move on to ticker symbol RUBY. That sounds so ridiculous. Okay, so I haven't seen what happened with this ticker. Somebody told me it capitulated. I'm like, what? I said upside, and this thing just failed it. Very interesting price action here, okay? So let me just take a quick little note here for ticker symbol RUBY, okay? Cool stuff. Guys, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Mark Roach saying, was that the entry that I suggested, or you just took it upon yourself, my dude? Because that was definitely that one that I was talking about a week ago, all right? I very, very much like that you're in with such a low average, right? So good stuff, good stuff. So ticker symbol Ruby is already looking like it could potentially, yet again, I'm going to try to squeeze in one more after Ruby, guys. So we'll see what we can do, okay? So I know that I'm going to try to squeeze in BSFC after this one, okay? So let's, yeah. Mark Rose, you bought in February? Wow, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I love it. All right, so yeah, let's move on with ticker symbol Ruby and make sure that we can. I mean, last time we looked at this was suggesting some pretty good opportunities, right? And we rated it a B-. So, and this was that. Yeah, what? Just shy of the take profit. Wow, at the resistance. Very interesting. Very interesting that it won't go to the 1.618 when it usually does. When price action usually takes it to the 1.618. I mean, the 1.272 is a good target too. I'm just really upset that it actually didn't even get to take that, right? So from the entries, we got all the entries and everything was looking good until it just and even the bullish hammer. This is yeah, I'm not sure. It could be institutional manipulation, right? So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because there's nothing that was suggesting a bear trap here. But in fact, you're getting the daily hammer here. We had volatility, we had RSI, everything suggesting a massive upside, and then a huge just short position open here, which just makes me believe that maybe other influencers were talking about similar targets to the upside, and that could have been used by institutions or big money, right? So to try to shake out the longs. But there is, what's curious here is that volatility is starting to do that thing again. It's it's starting to actually curve, and we're now expanding again into that area. So it's very curious for us to see that. Look at this, bottomed out, way oversold, flat out. I mean, flatted, just momentum with critical volatility here. These are primed opportunities. And we're starting to get a cross right here. We're about to make a cross with an upside in critical volatility on the 3-day. So this is I'm not. Oh man, it's very hard for me to say this. I mean, this is there's a loading zone here, and a very powerful one at that. It's actually at 718. Okay, so that 718 zone is, I mean, if you're short this stock, I would really consider covering there, because if this actually continues on to this is a 3-day candle iteration, which by the way still has a day and 15 hours to continue. So this is why I'm saying it's right here, right? So alongside the channel support bottom. The reason why I'm saying it's very, very dangerous for you to short this stock with this overextension it's because you can face a very powerful move from a macro reversal formation. Okay, so this formation is suggesting a continuation to the upside eventually, and a very strong one. So in all essence, if you are short this stock from, you know, if we reach 718 or whatever, the top side target, let me just line it up with the resistance, that which would be right about here, right? So on the channel, that would be a 252% loss. And I'm not saying that we would just moonshot on one shot like that. I'm saying that this is primed. It's primed for something, and it's very close. Okay, so if you are in the red, ticker symbol Ruby, consider kind of hanging on just a little bit, because this is gonna make some explosive moves. And this is, I'm actually considering, just full transparency here, guys, I'm considering getting long Ruby from about 718, and this can present an extremely explosive upside, very much to the likes of this, right? So we came right back down to that support, and then explosion. So huge upside. If you're curious as to what that candle is measuring, let's just see it. You're looking at right there, 200% gain, right? So this is why I'm saying that touching that support line down there is no joke, and that can really make some explosive moves to the upside. Even in the smaller iterations here, touching that support line right down here, that was let's measure it. Let's just see. This is why I'm telling you, it's just a huge upside potential. For almost 44% there, just based off this touch here, and then eventually reaching, let's see, over the span of a few months, right? Eventually reaching a top side of almost 100% to the upside, right? So I'm just saying, explosive moves can happen from these bottom supports right over here too. Huge upside, right? So I wouldn't suggest shorting beyond this zone here. Okay, so be very careful, as it's very close to a covering and take profit of institutional positions. This can definitely explode to the upside, and be very careful. Okay. So ticker symbol Ruby, yeah, I see a continuation to the downside, but let's see. Consolidation, 30-minute, bi-hourly consolidation, 6 hours, still consolidating. Very likely what's happening with the Jay Powell testimony tomorrow, right? So here's the daily confirming the downside, right? So the daily is confirming that downside. It's already about to be an oversold. So another reason, right? So yet again, another reason. About to be oversold in the buy daily as well. 3-day is getting close to that oversold as well. So here in the 3-day, this is the validation for that touch of about 718. And yeah, so, and now consolidation on the 5-day. So yeah, this is literally just a couple days away, or a few days away from bottoming out at this bottom zone here, followed by that 5-day potential cross here. This is straight consolidation. This usually means that the floor is near. Okay, so this is it for ticker symbol RUBY. So then we'll evaluate this, and then we'll look at that upside. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on to the next ticker, and that is going to be ticker symbol BSFC. So chat, please let me know who's long that ticker. Is anybody long BSFC? I'm not exactly familiar with that ticker myself, so I actually think a few people were actually talking about it, right? But if you're on your way in, guys, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button so we can stimulate that thing, right? So Paul, what's up, man? Good. Very happy you are long this ticker. Are you is this on the, let's see, hold on just a sec. BSFC, and there we go. Okay. NASDAQ ticker, good stuff. So BSFC hired Share Intel to fight naked shorting like many other companies have in February. A few days ago in the pre-market, there was heavy volume and it hit 30 cents. Okay. Oh, yeah, right over 30 cents. Hold on just a sec. Interesting. You would see, what broker do you have? Where did you see that 30 cent hit? Because the top side target here I'm looking at from, well, I mean this is actually, let's see. This is 31.83 in February 10th, right? So I assume you're talking literally a few days ago. So the high over here is about 21.10 in trading view. Of course, every broker is going to be different, right? But still, I mean, yeah, I'm noticing some things here already that have, okay. So, I mean, first of all, we could be trading this on the daily, okay? So, and the reason why I'm saying is because the daily has a massive gap over here. It's not only the reason. I'm just saying that it's a perfect gap, meaning that there's no wick on the opening of this candle, which is opening right at that area there. Okay, so let me load up a few indicators here so that we can gauge that potential, right? So, oh, the signal fired. The signal fired yesterday. Let me see. No. The signal, I'm sorry, Thursday. The signal fired on Thursday. So, and what I mean by signal is that when we started contracting alongside an upside pivot, that's Thursday, and this is suggesting a massive upside. This is that 14-day simple, barely entering that. It's barely entering the bullish control zone here. So this is very powerful, actually, very powerful. Let me look at prior price action. And let's see how this did. Okay, so contraction starting here. Then we got an upside. So from here to here. Okay, so there could be upside to be faced here. So contraction starting right at about here, and then faced an upside, and then it just continued on. So historically speaking, on the daily, the BSFC hasn't been trading for a very long time, but I mean, the upside that was suggested in this area here is from the bullish control zone. We're looking at an upside from way oversold. So this is substantially stronger. And it's only been at critical volatility, critical expansion a few times. So right here is another iteration. So oh wow, it happened right down here for a move to that upside. Let's see how big that move was. So around this area here, not quite bottomed out, right? So all the way to that upside, that was about a 40% move to the upside. Okay, so this has potential, and even in this situation here, we started suggesting that upside also from the oversold percentile. So, oh man, yeah. So critical volatility, critical volatility here. Oh, nice. There we go. So critical volatility here started contracting, and we got this. So very, very huge move to the upside. So that'll by itself, that'll flash the statistics, right? So you're looking at, that was a 334% move to the upside, and in a very rare time, by the way. Okay, this was the start of the bear cycle. So for it to do that in the bear cycle, that's pretty impressive. Okay, so that's good stuff, and it's looking like we're kind of repeating that history now. So on the daily time frame, very important to notice. Moving on, right? So on the daily time frame, very important to notice bullish engulfing candle formation right over here. Lots of bullish engulfings in the markets right now. This is suggesting a continuation to the upside, and it's very bullish. Okay, so and this the area where we stopped on the daily is right at the birth of this candle here. So yeah, let's just there you go. So you can see that we're stopped right at that huge, potentially a spinning top doji. I'm not sure what that was. It could be an evening star as well, since it is on the upside, faced that downside and then accumulated. Okay, so very well could have been an evening star. So now let me just move volatility to the upside and momentum and see what we have for the RSI, and is actually, you know what, I want to see this in several time frames because this is massive. Okay, so that suggests other time frames are likely flashed too. Oh wow, the bi-daily, man, it's about to fire the signal too. Way critical volatility. That's impressive. Okay, so 3-day time frame in critical volatility, about to start pivoting here as well. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks for suggesting this ticker. Here's another opportunity, guys. Man, let's see. Ooh, this is about less than 1% away from critical volatility and still suggesting a little bit of reaccumulation here for a continuation onto that upside. So let's look at starting from the 4-hour. Let's see, the 6-hour, nothing there. Right. So it would be likely. Yeah. Okay. So the 12-hour time frame, the daily time frame, the bi-daily into the 3-day, and then the 5-day is barely prepping. So high relevance here in many time frames and suggesting a huge upside. Okay. So please remember that we definitely need to kind of watch out what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, you guys. So let's just go ahead and see here. Oh wow, look at that. The 5-day is attempting to to cross that 14-day simple moving average. So this is very bullish already. Okay, so and it looks like this capitulation event has already bottomed out, and I mean arguably this in a smaller time frame, maybe a daily or an 8-hour or 12-hour, this could be a bear flag, right? So it's very dangerous to see that. But if we can look at historically here on the 5-day, then we can see a few things. I'll show you how. Okay, so this is some more discretion in play right here, right? So this would be bear flag, right? And then we use it as resistance. Then another type of bear flag here. This is a continuation. This is or what's called it's a triangle, right? So it's also a continuation pattern. So, and then from that downside right here, we draw another trend line, and then you can see the resistances, supports, and then we fail it. It's resistance, confirmations, downside continuation. So this was another bear flag right over here. So there is huge upside potential here, as it is very likely for us to come up to this zone here and see if we can actually resist it. But we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. So usually the 4th is the last iteration of a bear flag. So this can actually make a huge upside, especially for those traders who are counting, right? And this is on a 5-day iteration. So very, very likely this could have potentially found the floor or soon. Right, so yeah, this is looking very good. So let's go to the buy. Yeah, let me start off on the 30-minute immediate short term and see what it's got. Okay, so let's see. Wow. Damn. Okay, so immediate short term time frame upside. Guys, BSFC, what's up? Oh my goodness. Huge upside, right? So is there any room? Okay, so this would have to be played. Okay, 5-minute and 15-minute suggesting of wow, there's nothing there. Okay, so let me see the hourly. Yeah, so it's going to be immediate short-term time frame entry, but there is another opportunity by playing this in a few ways. Okay, so every time frame is suggesting upside on that RSI, and yeah, damn, it's consistent. It's consistent upside. Okay, so in that case, let's load up. You have to change the strategy just a little bit if you're not already long this stock, right? So what we need to look at is the next area of resistance for a pullback. And I'm talking about not a pullback based on indicator pullback, based on price action. So we are going to look at the 12-hour, but very likely we're going to end up in the 4-hour or the bi-hourly. So let's pull up our SMAs and our EMAs, and okay, so huge support at that EMA 1758, 1794 current position. Okay, so let's go down the time frames. Just like, of course, I feel like why am I not just there now, right? So let me go a little bit smaller. So if we're looking at an upside immediately, very likely we can actually resist from the range of about the SMA 50. Let me see. Sorry, the EMA 30 and this closing of the candle here, which is the closing of this one and the closing of this one, and very close to the opening of this one here, right? So that's a very likely range of resistance, which I'm trying to say, don't FOMO and don't get in there. Don't get in right away, because there is likely a resistance to be faced here, followed by a pullback. Let me see the hourly. The hourly time frame has the SMA 100 as a support. That's very strong. Let's see the bi-hourly. Okay. All right. So yeah, the moving averages, maybe on a 30-minute, if we have any type of, okay. So 30-minute resistance coming up. If we're gonna face the 200-day simple moving average as resistance, which we already did today, right? So this is why the candle stopped where it did. We could potentially, this is a very high potential. Let me load up the EMA 20 and 50. They're way below. Yeah, everything is supporting us. So this is very strong. Okay, so two areas to look out for. Okay, if we face that 200-day simple moving average, we're very likely to come back and test our current high range. The current high range, which would mean immediate entry, YOLO entry, right? So it would be the space of 1794 to 1823, right? So resisting from the SMA 200, and it'll likely come back to this area and then continue on to the upside. Okay, so if we're looking at man, it's located, everything is located. This is our confirmation for a downside, but 15-minute candle analysis really sucks, guys. It's just, look at all these moving averages below us. And it is suggesting a slight pullback even still, right? So let me look at the 5-minute resistance here. Every moving average, it's incredibly bullish when you have every moving average below you starting from the freaking 5-minute. Okay, so it's very, very, very bullish, and this would be tactical entry. It's not set on resistances from any formation. It's set on resistances from previous targets and moving averages with a retracement back to a relevant area. So YOLO entry could be within this range here. Okay, now the upside targets on this, that's highly untold right now, and it could very well face some explosive upsides. Please know that I'm telling you that it's that short-term time frame SMA 200, right? But if we're looking at the 4-hour or the 6-hour, the relevance would actually land within this area here, which means that this could actually be a pullback zone, or it could be a take profit if you do get in that shorter term time frame accumulation zone that I'm talking about, right? So 1794 to 1823 could lead to, let's see, from the bottom side, screw it, right? From right over here to the bottom side of this target is 5%, 6%, right? So 8% here. Very short term 30-minute. But the higher probability for price action in about a day or two, it would likely be this candle high here, or just short of it. So about 21 cents. So now, taking into consideration that target, which would be the one to look at, you're looking at about a 17% gain. Okay, but this has more power behind it. I am not saying that this is it right here. In fact, this is showing just so much more potential. And actually on the 30-minute time frame, it's looking like it's already building a bullish formation as well, and that is could very well be. I'll connect the other lines, right? So this could very well be a falling wedge. So something like this, right? So, and it's breaking out a little premature, which is a little worrisome, right? But I mean, if it is now, then it's now. It doesn't matter. It just, if it's gonna make the move now, then so be it, right? But just know that I am kind of weary of that, and there are many other ways to look at this. This formation. I mean, especially as you start moving into higher term time frames or shorter term, you'll start to see a higher relevance, right? So you can actually see that maybe it was like this, you know, or it was like this. There's a lot of people looking at these touches as well, right? So, It can vary. That's all I'm saying. It could just vary, right? So if we're looking at it in this form, then it is of high probability that we gapped up on this falling wedge, but we never came back and tested it, right? So that's a potential too. And the reason why I'm saying it's a potential is because this is breaking out from arguably, this is about 70% to the apex of the triangle. So this is suggesting a continuation to the upside. If we were to gauge a price objective based on this formation, then taking the trend line like this from the top side of the triangle to the area of breakout, you're suggesting a topside target that's very similar to the one that I'm showing now. Okay, so and now to validate further, you can actually take a fib from let's take it from the current wick high to the range low, right? So let's do it like that, and let's take a look at what we have here. 1.618 located right at the price objective, 1961. 1.272 located very similar. So my discretionary target is landing well within a very important geometric target. Okay, so lots of rhyming happening within this area. And now as you start to dive into this target here, you have the 2.272, which by the way is, I mean, if you're looking at price action in this manner here, you can actually see that there could be a type of thing happening like this, right? So the next hourly candles would then take you to the 2.618 at resistance of this trend line regression, right? So there's a lot happening here. Okay, so what I'm basically saying in shorter words is just that this is potentially building an ascending channel. Okay, if you want to just keep it like as simple as possible, then there is this potential here. Okay, so we're going to start trading an ABCD range. So meaning that this was A, this is B. We're going to touch at C, then D, then potentially start an Elliott wave and continue on to E, right? So it's probable, but we have to consider that we're looking at in the hourly. But lots of opportunity here within BSFC, and I very much like it, okay, you guys? But remember, tomorrow is that Fed testimony, okay? So we have to be careful with what's happening within that, okay? But yeah, guys, I'm really stoked over what's here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by tonight. Really appreciate you. Also, please consider hitting that like button on your way out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, right, so we can stimulate it for future live streams. Tomorrow being one of them. Okay, you guys. Paul, thank you so much for the opportunity. Definitely loved it. Okay, you guys. But moderators, I appreciate you so much, man. I'm sorry that we couldn't get through everything, guys. It's just I have to make sure to put in some time for the master students, as the courses will start to get announced either tonight or tomorrow. Okay, you guys. Miss L, have a very good night. Mark Roach, thank you so much for all that you do. Paul, thank you. Samantha H, Hound, if you're still in here. Michael Dixon, what's up, dude? Didn't see you earlier. Late corner Central Time Zone nap was needed. My dude, good to see you nonetheless. Really happy that you got to join us. So Daniel Gonzalez, what is up, my dude? So saying so balls deep. I actually didn't see the thing earlier, right? I'm just trying to get through the night as fast as possible so that we can get the master students in line. Okay, you guys, so definitely expect some pretty nice plays to come in on the Discord for a few of them. Okay, so the potential upsides, just to kind of touch bases again, we're looking at, let's see, yeah, wow. So we're looking at BSFC for a potential long opportunity. We have an arguable ticker symbol Ruby, right? But I mean, it's presenting it, but the higher likelihood is going to be LHDXQ, which is the LHDX ticker, as it's showing massive opportunity, and also ticker symbol MULN. Remember, CRTD is absolutely loading up too. So we'll go ahead and take a look at all those tickers and put up some plays in the Discord. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish everybody very well a very good night. Steven, it's nice to see you, my dude. Rosie, thank you so much for stopping by. All right, so I wish everybody a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, you guys.